Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica and I make videos all about making and selling candles. If you guys are interested in checking out what my Etsy shop looks like, or if you're interested in any of my merch designs, you can find them in the first links in the description box below. We are going to be diving deeper into the topic of pricing your candles. Now, I did make a video about this a few months back, but there is more specific things that I wanted to touch on in today's video to hopefully influence you guys to raise your prices and really price your candles for what they're worth. Today's topic is going to be pretty much on perceived value. Now, this is something that is going to be extremely important when you are creating a good to sell to the market. So what is perceived value? Well, perceived value is the value in which customers are willing to pay for a particular product or service based on their perception of that product. So what exactly does that mean, and how do you create value within your product? So if we look at the market and we see that there are certain goods that are selling for way higher than their counterparts, what we're looking for is we're looking to see why are people willing to pay more for that item than they are for another item. In my personal opinion, the main reasons on why is design, branding, and marketing. So brand is everything, it really is. That's why Nike is able to sell a sweatshirt for, I don't know, $100, $120, and Walmart sells it for $12. It's just because we are able to view that brand as more valuable than a Walmart item. So what we're looking at when it comes to actually creating your candle and designing your candle to be valuable, you are going to want to take a long time to really think of how am I going to make my product valuable. You are wanting to bring value to the market. You can't expect people to pay a certain price point for your candles if they are not up to standard with what the market is willing to pay for. When it comes to designing what your candles are going to look like, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to look at the market, look and see what people are wanting to pay for. There is a very modern look in today's society that a lot of people are drawn towards. So a lot of people are mimicking that very modern, minimalistic, simplistic designs on their candles, labels, very unique jars. There's a lot of similarities between candle companies, candle makers, and candle labels that you see on the candles that will give you an idea of what the market is wanting and what people are willing to pay a higher price for. So if you say to yourself, I have no idea how to design a candle that will bring value to my customer base, then you have to work a little bit more outside of the box when it comes to designing your candles. You may have to hire somebody. You may have to get a bunch of different opinions from so many different people that you know that will tell you, yes, no, you should go with that. That looks nice. That doesn't look nice. You know, that's a little outdated. I feel like a lot of times a lot of candles just look a little outdated. And I think that's why a lot of people price their candles a little bit lower, because not a lot of people are willing to spend the extra money to purchase a candle that has an outdated look. A lot of people want the more modern, in style type of look to their candles because candles aren't just for scent. A lot of people use them as home decor. So you have to think about this item is a home decor piece. It's not just a candle that is going to be bringing a scent to the room. It is a eye piece. It needs to be something that is pleasing to the eye, something that people will want to openly display on their table, on their countertop, in their kitchen. Sometimes people like to be able to match that style of the candle to their home decor in an area of their room, and that's what they're looking for when it comes to candles. If they like the scent but it's not going to match what their house looks like, they might not get it. But if they love the way it looks and it's going to bring a lot of attention and a pleasing item to the room, they'd be more likely to purchase it. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to do a ton of research on modern styles. Even if you have a style that's a little bit different, maybe you do have themed candles, or your candles aren't, you know, the most minimalistic or modern or simple style. You still have to have a more modern twist on an old-fashioned way of doing things, or a modern twist just to get people's attention on that item. Unless you are really targeting a specific market of people with your candles, you want to basically make your candles look as nice and high quality as possible. Now, going back to perceived value, if somebody is trying to sell a candle for $7 and somebody else is selling a candle for $17 or $20, what candle do you think is more valuable? Even if they both look exactly the same, you might think that the candle that costs more is going to be better quality. A lot of people are willing to pay more for better quality instead of just trying to get the cheap way out and buying a cheaper candle. I know, trust me you guys, I know in the beginning when you are first trying to price your candles and get them out on the market, sell them to friends and family, a lot of people have a tough time with putting a price point on a homemade good, and we kind of psych ourselves out because we're thinking, okay, well, I don't want people to not buy it because this is my baby, this is my creation, and I don't want to get rejected. So if I price it lower, then people are gonna buy it and I'm gonna feel so much better about my homemade good being able to be purchased and not being turned down, because I don't want to be turned down for something that I love and something that I created. But I really want you guys to get past that. I want you guys to think about your candles as a work of art, and a homemade good item is going to be worth so much more than a mass-produced factory made candle. And that kind of goes into another topic of, I see so many people just kind of get down on themselves that they see that Yankee Candle or Bath and Body Works, they're having a crazy sale and their little 10-ounce candle will never be able to compete with their candles. And honestly, good. It's not your competition. They're not your competition. Your competition is going to be other handmade candle makers using the same wax, the same kind of wick, the same style of jar. Those are going to be your competition. You do not have to compete with the huge brand of mass-produced candles. So just know that if you guys are creating candles, let's say you're creating an 8-ounce candle and you're selling it for $6 or $7, you are selling yourself short. You could be making so much more money. And I understand that a lot of this stems from trying to turn a hobby into a business. You have to completely change your mindset and think about it in a completely different way. And again, I feel like this throws people off because for the longest time you were just giving them as gifts, making them just for leisure time around the house just because you really enjoyed it. And trying to switch and think of, okay, I need a profit margin, I need to know my cost of goods, I need to know my wholesale price, my retail price. It can be really overwhelming. And because you enjoy the process so much, you're like, well, I mean, I could probably charge, $8, $9 for this candle, and that would make me happy because I would get a little bit of money and I would still be able to enjoy the process of making candles. But you also have to think about the future of your candle business. If you're really wanting to turn your candle hobby into a business, you have to completely switch your mindset. You have to think, okay, I have to think about profit. I have to. If it can't be one or the other. It can't be both if in the future you want it to be solely a business. If you know that when you're making and selling candles and this is just going to be a very small part of your income and it is a really, really small business, you're only selling it to a couple friends and family, maybe 1 or 2 times a month, it's really nothing that you're going to be making a huge income from, yeah, charge what you want to. Honestly, that's up to you. But if you are wanting to eventually make this into a business and you're just trying to transition from hobbyist to business person, completely different. You guys have to sit down, know your cost of goods, know what you're going to be charging, and know your worth with your candles. As you guys can see, I'm super passionate about this topic because I don't want you guys to sell yourselves short. I see it all the time in the Facebook groups and even on the websites that I see from you guys, on my Instagram, people that I follow, just charging way too little for your candles. If your cost of goods for a candle is $3 and you're selling it for $6, what about sales? What about if you want to do wholesale in the future? Are you just going to raise your prices for wholesale, but then people wouldn't want to purchase it from that supplier because then they could get it for you at half the cost for retail? You have to think about it in the way of, okay, what am I going to make? What profit am I going to make on my candles? And what am I going to want to do in the future? Am I ever going to want to do wholesale? If the answer is, I don't know, maybe, then plan for wholesale. Plan that you will do wholesale and get your numbers together, because it's going to matter in the future, and you're gonna thank yourself so much more now that you have all of that information than pricing it low right now and then just, I'll worry about it in the future. Because what happens in 7 months and you're thinking, wow, I could actually turn this into a business, and you jack your prices up, double, maybe even triple the cost, and nobody wants to purchase from you anymore. Then you're upset and you're hurt because nobody wants to purchase your candles anymore, because now the perceived value of your candles before was, oh, well, these are pretty cheap candles. They're nice, but they're cheaper. And then when somebody triples the price of it, they're thinking, why are they taking something that's lower quality and charging me way more for it? Now they're thinking, oh, I'll just go to Bath and Body Works for the same price. Now they're thinking of, why is this person charging this much more? So just always know, in the future, it's always easier to lower your prices than it is to raise your prices. That's why in the beginning, when you were thinking about switching over from a candle hobby to a candle business, you need to think about these things. You need to think about the prices that you are going to be charging for your candles long term and not just right now. A very general rule to go by if you guys are looking on how to price your candles is you are going to be taking your cost of goods. Now, if you're wondering what cost of goods is what it's going to take to make one candle. So you're going to want to go through all of your bulk orders, all of the bulk wicks, the bulk jars, your wax in bulk, and you are going to need to break it down individually to find out how much it costs to make one candle. This is absolutely mandatory. You have to do this. You have to know how much it costs you to make one candle. If you don't know how much it costs you to make one candle, check out my cost of goods video. I will link a card up here just so you guys can go and figure it out. And once you know the price that it costs you to make one candle, then you can move on to actually pricing your candles for retail. So when you know how much it costs to make one of your candles, a very, very general formula that a lot of people follow is cost of goods times 4. A lot of people do cost of goods times 4 plus 10 to 15% to account for all of the labor that goes into it, shipping materials. It's all going to be different for you. So this is just a good place to start to know kind of the general area of how much you should be charging a candle for. So a lot of times when people are charging an 8-ounce candle for $6 and their cost of goods is, let's say, $3.50, well, $3.50 times 4 is $14. But realistically, you could up that price to even $16 or $17. And a lot of people are thinking, whoa, people are willing to spend, $17 on an 8-ounce candle. Yes, they are, because of perceived value. If you have a nice looking product and you are marketing yourself and making your brand stand out as a valuable brand, you will be able to sell your candle for that much. For instance, this is my 9.5 ounce candle. I sell these for $22 or $29 and free shipping online. And I have sold out of everything. Just recently got new jars, so I'm stoked on that. But just know that it does happen. People are willing to pay the price for quality, especially when they like the way that a product looks. I mean, considering all the brands that are charging, $50, $75, $100 plus, even $500 for a candle, people are willing to pay for the design and the brand of that product. That is what people are paying for, and that is what people want. It's just what the market wants. I'm getting like lightheaded. I'm really sorry about that, you guys. That was about 3 hours ago that I filmed. I was feeling not so good at all. I really did feel right after that like I was actually going to pass out. So I just grabbed some orange juice and I went and laid down. And then shortly after, I got an ocular migraine, which, if you guys are unaware of that, it's basically where one of your eyes, I think it can be both, but I'm pretty sure it's just one of them. There's a bunch of blurry spots all over your eyes, so it makes it really hard to see and concentrate on anything, and then you get a migraine afterwards. So I just had to lay down for the next couple hours and just kind of let it pass and let it just kind of subside. So I am okay, but I really do hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. As you can tell, I'm really passionate about this topic that I almost passed out. But I did feel myself getting kind of heated. I don't know, maybe I turned red in the video. I haven't even seen it yet. But anyways, I'm hoping to get this edited and put up tonight. So if you guys liked today's video, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at MemoryBox Box Candle Co. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.